who might be unfamiliar with the WIDA standards, today we're going to dive into the can-do descriptors, which are fantastic. So you can get a sense of the listening and speaking descriptors of what students are able to do at various stages for various elements of a student-led discourse that you might be facilitating. And what's cool is that WIDA has this all organized by grade band. We are going to dive into 9 through 12 today because my background is a high school teacher, but feel free to join or access the link in the description, and we'll be able to you'll be able to find exactly what grade you need.
Okay, so let's take a look at this can-do chart from WIDA. Here we have the language proficiency levels. So you have 1 through 6 on the left-hand most column. This left-hand side of the screen here is all about listening. This right-hand side is all about speaking. And so at each level, you'll be able to see exactly what we can do. So we have categories of recounts, explanations, and arguments. So recount, explain, argue. So let's start with speaking, actually. I think this might be a little bit easier. So we can invite students or kind of evaluate and assess students' recounting ability by what they can do when they're sharing. So at first, it's naming and briefly describing content topics. Again, this is in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, answering select questions. So kind of those WH questions. All the way to at the end, right, we're really talking about adjusting presentation style, word choice, tone. We are presenting in kind of a discipline-specific organization. So how would a historian present this? How would a mathematician talk about this, right? You can see, obviously, all of these things in between. So we have like kind of a mid-level here is where we're presenting factual information, we're paraphrasing and summarizing. Okay, and then when we go over here to listening, you can see kind of the equivalent of we have like processing the recounting. So you might see students at kind of level 1 here matching everyday oral content related words and phrases to pictures. You might have them select different places or figures from oral statements and visual supports and be able to kind of utilize that and identify that. All the way to categorizing perspectives of multiple speakers, identifying important information of specific events from various sources. Here, kind of in the middle, we have identifying main ideas or classifying things. We also have following the steps of content-related tasks given orally and identifying details from oral discussion. So you can see there's such a range. And again, there's all of these three. So we have recount, explain, and argue. So we just did recount, explain, obviously a little bit different. We're really talking about like let's go right to the end here. So in the level 6, providing precision, accuracy, and classifications, right? When I'm thinking about explain, I'm often thinking about procedures and technical language. And then when we're talking about argue, right, at first, this might be pro-con lists. And then finally,
think about your assessment strategy and how you are assessing students, whether these students are multilingual learners or not. I think it's really helpful to think about the breakdown and progression of how people are expressing and have their expressive communication noted in the speaking side of that document that we looked at, as well as the listening or the understanding and receptive, there we go, language of a language. And so I think it is really important for us, even beyond our multilingual learners, to think about these components and kind of the breakdown of how students acquire and progress through these skills. Of course, it doesn't always need to be linear, but here's a general trajectory that WIDA has mapped for us. Let's use it. Go ahead and embed any of these into your assessment criteria, your rubrics, your look fors, listen fors, whatever you call them, and let me know how it's going.